Hello everyone, welcome to part 16 of Trials of Mana.
Dom Perry may be smart, but he's a jerk.
At least we were able to learn what we needed. I owe him a great deal for this help.
Now that we have the information from Dom Perry, you can finally go to Gusthall and kick some ass. Gusthall is the next dungeon we have to trek through, but it's also the first dungeon with a Mana Stone. Now those are important because they are the key locations to help you get promoted. There are 8 Mana Stones scattered throughout the game, and not only do they grant you great power, but they also imprison the Beneficents, or as they were called in the unofficial translation, God Beasts. The Mana Stones themselves make their debut in this game. They weren't in Secret of Mana or Final Fantasy Adventure, but they do return in Legend of Mana, the PS1 game, which is very good if I do say so myself. A lot of the series staples which the Mana franchise is known for either spawn from this game or obviously Secret of Mana. Well, okay, more so Secret since I got the American release, but this game is also influential in its own right. There are many reasons why, but I just don't feel like going over it. Just take my word for it, the Super Nintendo Mana games are good. If you played at least 1 or 2 of them. Well, okay, 2 of them. There are only 2 on Super Nintendo. And they're both good. Play them. Play them, please. Especially Secret. Though I will admit the American version of Secret of Mana is missing like 50% of the story from the Japanese version. It's kind of like Final Fantasy IV. Or Final Fantasy II on the Super Nintendo, it's missing some of the content from the Japanese counterpart.
What? The wind statue is...
Oh no! Someone might be after Sylphid like Dom Perry feared! Hurry!
No, it's just monsters so far. Unless the monsters are sentient. Oh god, that's something I do not want to think about. At least until the next game.
This wind is a deterrent. We have to get past it.
I don't think we can force our way through here. Looks like we gotta use our heads to solve this.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Duran headbutt that son of a bitch. But the gimmick of this dungeon is to manipulate the wind.
I grew up with the winds in these hills. Leave it to me.
Now quit being a show-off, Reese. We know where you're from. Anyway, getting around these wind currents involves finding these crystals. This will rotate the statues, and the winds will blow in a different direction.
Hostile entity. We must continue to triumph.
Silver Item Seed. Now that's going to net the trio better items. Possibly even weapons if I'm lucky. Now the enemies in Gusthall are basically the same enemies from the greater Heaven's Gate area. You got zombies, harpies, imps, and the occasional bronze knight. Since earth magic is the opposite to wind magic, and this being a wind palace, most of the monsters here are going to be allergic to earth. Here are the bronze knights. Are these copper? I think these are copper knights actually. Some of these guys have super armor and some don't. It's kind of inconsistent, but they do utilize wind magic. Turning these wind statues around will unveil hard to reach treasure chests. This one being the most notable, and it's just chocolate. Oh, why does it have to be melted chocolate? You know how hot this place is? Well, hopefully the wind is cooling this place down at least. Can't go through here yet. There is going to be another crystal on the other side of the chamber though. So don't worry, you're not trapped. Wow, nobody stands a chance. There is a new mana game coming out supposedly next year. I wonder how that game's difficulty is going to be. Because this one is way too easy at points. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Okay, there's a few things wrong with that. But still, I like a little bit of challenge.
Clear your way. It's me.
I just noticed that there's no background music in this area. It's just a wind sound effect. Why do games forego the music with sound effects? That doesn't make any sense. Just put music here too. That's really one of my pet peeves when it comes to video games. Nature sound effects over music. I don't know why, it just is. Anyway, there are gargoyle statues that will create a shortcut back to the beginning of the stage. That way you don't have to fight your way back out of the dungeon.
It is unwise to get in our way. Isn't funny.
I thought it was pretty funny. You're funny. This whole game is funny. Fine, I'll heal you up, Angela. Going through my chocolates. A freaking melted chocolate that's been in a box for 2.5 weeks or something. It's probably got mold and dust on the chocolate. Ugh. Ugh. Nobody likes molded chocolate. Which makes me wonder why these guys eat it so often.
That was hardly worth the trouble.
This pickup is a dream read that switches the day and night cycles. It could be useful if you're looking for a specific type of enemy to fight or whether or not you want to use the night market, but I never really used the dream read. I mean, you can easily switch between night and day by just going into an inn and resting up. And not to mention that the day cycles are not really that long to begin with. What is it, 24 minutes for a full day to go by? That's standard. I guess having another way to switch between the two is definitely more convenient.
Crosscut. That's what I'm really made of.
That gust of wind blew me right to where I need to go. And I'm poisoned? When did that happen? Must have taken a scratch from a zombie or something. Oh good, it wore off. Or maybe somebody else decided to use a medical herb. The AI partners are smart. Sometimes.
I feel like I could defeat any enemy.
The wind's turned off. Time to mosey by this hallway. This cactus location is a bit tricky to get to, but you use the wind in order to fly on by. Using physics to your advantage is kind of like Mario. Gonna fast forward a bit because the wind current's reactivated in this particular hallway. It's kinda dumb, but whatever, I'll just activate the switch again.
Let us work together to defeat the enemy.
Crosscut.
Oh, the crosscut didn't get the two needle beaks. You have got to be kidding me. Now I have to deal with these guys head on.
Well fought. My hair keeps getting in my face.
That sounds like a you problem. Cut your hair! Now here's a light puzzle segment. You have to turn the statues around so they don't block your path. And it's a good thing the wind can't knock you into the holes. They're just invisible walls at this point. There we go. No, wait, that still might be wrong. Yeah, it's wrong. Shit. Okay, Angela, the hair is getting in my face and it sucks. You win. Wait, what am I talking about? I keep my hair cut low. These are the right directions you want the statues to be facing. There's going to be some gear on the left exit. It's going to be a Huberk. It's an armor for Duran. It increases defense by 4 and magic defense by 2. You do not want to miss this free pickup. Of course, shops at a later point will sell this item, but it's going to be 2 steps ahead. There we go. Now the numbers are looking better. Let's scoot on by. The wind will guide us on the right path, or whatever the old saying is. We are getting closer and closer to the end of this area, as evident by the gold mana statue. It's a welcoming sight. I want my HP back. Please give me my HP back. Anyway, we got more nuisances to deal with. Plural for nuisance. Pains in the ass. We got more pains in the ass to deal with. Especially with the Copper Knight's freaking super armor, force field thing. Why is that even in this game? I just want to beat things up. This stupid force fields. By the end game and definitely post game, every enemy, or at least 80% of the enemies, will have force fields. And it just sucks.
Hostile entity! Be careful! We need Sylphid's power now more than ever. I must be in tune with the winds if I
Whoa. What's that?
It's a mana stone. This is the first one I've ever seen in person, too. Huh. If the Benevodons sealed within were freed, the whole world would be in such danger.
Hey, don't jinx it, okay?
I'm sorry. We're doing what we can to stop it, after all. Come on! Sylphid must be nearby. Wait just a second. Are these footprints? I think they're headed this way. Let's check them out.
Once the necessary qualifications are met, you can use the Mana Stone to switch classes. Say goodbye to basic classes. I'm not gonna miss them. We're gonna bring a bit more pizzazz to our attacks. So I'm going to go over this particular trio's second tier classes. What they're good at, what they're bad at, and their synergy. Starting with Duran, his light side promote is that of a knight. This class has better defense, is the only character in the game that can wield shields, and has healing magic. The downside is that the knight does not bolster that much of a higher offensive capability, it's mainly just more tank. The gladiator is what I'm going with. The defense goes up only slightly, but offense goes up by a lot, and Duran can even exploit enemy weaknesses with saber skills. Only problem is that as a gladiator, Duran can't use healing magic or a shield. You even gain new combos when you switch classes. Now don't worry, this isn't permanent. It's not like if you switch to a gladiator, you're stuck as a gladiator. You can switch back to your standard class and go for another class on the light side. And speaking of, let's do Reese. Since she's just that much of a balanced character, you won't go wrong with either or. Since I have two frontliners and one of those frontliners is going to be the aggressor, I kind of want Reese to be more of the support frontliner. So I'm going to go with the Valkyrie. Roommate in Reese is good too, but she focuses on hindering the opponent's actions as opposed to helping the party members out. I also find that Reese's Valkyrie special, the Land Surge, is better than her Room-Maiden version, whatever that move is. And lastly but not least is Angela, whether or not you want her magic to have lingering effects on the enemy. Now the light side of the Force, the Sorceress, is just elemental weaknesses all day, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to get the most out of Angela's abilities, go with the Mysticist. Her health goes up a little bit more with the Mysticist, and basically all of her base stats go up. With the sorceress, only some of her base stats, like luck and stuff, go up, which is really strange. But Mystis is Angela. She may not be a fighter, but she'll still look at enemies and blow them the fuck up. And her dress hasn't even gotten classier. Oh, trust me, this isn't the final form. And Angela's learned Pummel Star, which is basically kind of like an upgraded version of Reese's recently learned Lance Surge. Which is basically Angela takes a whole bunch of supernovae and pummels it into the enemy, hence the name Pummel Star. It's single target, but it does a ton of damage. Good for bosses and beefy enemies, not so much for groups. Unless Angela is smart enough to target another person, which is not likely. Anyway, a couple more ability chains opened up since we promoted. Each character can now hold up to 4 abilities. So I want Durant to work on some of the tankiness, but mainly work on attack and magic. Since he has the saber skills, I kinda want him to exploit the enemy weaknesses a bit more. Reese, I would just stick on stuff that would give her energy back after battles. And Angela? Well, magic of course. Anything magic she's automatically getting.
Sylphid's in trouble!
Hey, you! Let him go.
You must have destroyed the wind statue too!
He's gone.
Something's wrong.
What? That guy in the armor do this?
We have to hurry and save Sylphid.
Got it. We're coming, Sylphid.
Here's the boss of Gusthall, the Harkapete. That's a really dumb name. That is a dumb-ass name. Anyway, this creature is airborne, but she is close enough to the ground where you can still get to her. It's not like this creature can fly away when she's in danger, so you can still strike her a lot. Oh, Angela, what did you even get hit by? There's still the age-old problem of her dying in 2 hits. Damn you, mages. Damn you! Ugh, well, Duran and Reese can take care of it. Now, the Harpy has a couple of different attacks, mainly based on wind, so if you have Angela in your party that's not laying around... Come on, Reese, you're better than this! Ugh. I don't even have Stone Saber for Duran yet. That's sad. As I was saying, if you have Angela in your party that's not dead, use Diamond Shards. That's an Earth-based magic skill, and that's going to be the weakness of the Harpy. I was going to say the name again, but that's stupid. Duran's special probably would have done more damage if it wasn't wind-based. Still did a decent amount of damage, but not tremendously so. Hoist. Now, this is a move where the Harpy will just rush in and attempt to grab a character. A well-timed dodge roll will get you out of the way. And there's another move called Buffet, which I think just siphons health. Yeah, it just siphons health if you get close to the Harpy. But other than that, if you want your chance to strike, wait for the Harpy to do Supersonic. She charges up for a massive wind attack, which takes a long time to finish, mind you. And that'll give you plenty of opportunity to knock her out of it. And Harkipede is boned. She's done. She's dead.
You okay?
Sylphid, are you all right?
Ooh, you saved me.
Who was that Dark Knight from earlier?
I don't know. One moment he was looking at the Mana Stone, and the next he was after me. He drained my energy and summoned Harsepide.
Harsepide. Oh,
That night,
it's Greek. It's still a weird name, though.
Sylphid, we need your help.
I see. Well, you all saved my life. I'll stick with you until the bitter end!
Finally, we can reclaim my home from those invaders. Thank you all so much for your aid. As Dom Perry suggested, we must utilize the Somnosis in the meadow.
Alright, that's going to do it for this part of Trials of Mana. Stay tuned for the next part where we utilize our newfound powers. Unlimited power!